boy, this is not what I thought I'd be talking about. I knew I'd be talking some baseball, Shohei Ohtani, and obviously a ton of NFL. I did not think I would be talking about, and I've tried to mostly stay away from this, but it's almost unavoidable at this point. The beef that just will not end, mostly because one person won't let it end. Of LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. Now, again, as I often say in these tense situations, obviously I am a big fan of LeBron James. I've said, and we can debate this another day, I think he's the greatest basketball player ever. I get on LeBron fans who act like it's not close. I get on Jordan fans who act like it's not close. It's obviously razor thin. You can make a case strongly for one direction or the other. Add Kareem in that too. I always get insulted when Kareem's never included in the GOAT discussion. Different conversation for a different day. LeBron's a activist community, has always been on the forefront of social issues here in America. Done some unbelievable stuff for the kids in his local community. By all accounts, great husband, great father. And then as far as Stephen A. Smith, listen, this is a guy who didn't come from much. His book, Straight Shooter, which I read a couple of years ago, excellent read, came from a lower middle class background and has raised himself into being the face of all of sports coverage. He's the face of ESPN, $100 million contract. He's doing political coverage on his podcasts, on Sirius XM, on News Nation. Like, Stephen A is doing his thing. Stephen A is making the bucks. Both guys, Bron and Stephen A, didn't come from much and have accomplished unbelievable things. So both in many ways are the personification of the American dream in their own respective fields. So I want to say that on the front end, because this is not a way to attack personally anybody in this situation. But Stephen A. Smith was on Carmelo Anthony's podcast, which made it even more weird because Melo's in the Banana Boat crew with LeBron and Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade. Like, that was odd that Melo doesn't interject to anything that I'm about to play you. But Stephen A. was asked about his tiff with LeBron James, and here's what he had to say. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith on LeBron James.
Let me get to LeBron. I don't like his not a little bit. You do not understand the links this man would go to. This dates back more than a decade. I believe he's one way publicly, he's another way privately. He might not be interviewed and he might not be quoted, but the things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today. It's some low. The day that he rolled up on me courtside, it was the day my contract was announced, that I had stayed with ESPN. Go back and look at the camera angles. I arrived there in the first quarter. He rolled up on me in the third quarter. This is 2025. We got technology everywhere. TNT is a nationally televised game. How is it we got one angle and the only angle you see was of him and his face, but you see the back of my peanut head? I know this, but I know a thing or two about camera angles. I determine them half the time.
Yep.
Do this angle, do this angle, do that angle. This is my business.
I'll ask you straight up. Do you think you felt set up in that moment?
Damn right I did.
You thought he had somebody out there too.
Damn right that did.
Okay. There's a lot there. So obviously anybody who has not seen it, we won't play the footage because we don't have the rights to play the whole thing. But obviously this is kind of the freeze frame of it. LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith. This was the confrontation. This was a game in March against the New York Knicks. Stephen A. was there to support his Knicks in Los Angeles. And because of what Stephen A. said about Bronny, LeBron James' son, Bronny James, talking about, hey, LeBron James as a father, stop this. Like, we remember that whole dynamic and how it worked. And LeBron, before the fourth quarter, you see it right there. We're showing it on Carving It Up Live right now, confronted Stephen A. Smith and basically said, keep my family's name out your mouth, with some choice language in there, obviously. Listen, let's say Stephen A. is correct that LeBron is talking about Stephen A. behind the scenes to his people, whatever. Since the Pat McAfee interview, Bronny said nothing about you, bro. Ain't said a word. And when later, we didn't show this clip in the interview, but he talks about how, J.J. Redick in that game against the Philadelphia 76ers that prompted Stephen A. Smith to talk about LeBron and basically questioning his decision-making as a father and all of it. Stephen A. Smith said in this podcast clip, we're not going to show it now, but on Carmelo Anthony's podcast, when J.J. Redick puts Bronny James in a game, first quarter against Philadelphia, against an all-star caliber player, Tyrese Maxey, who's out there licking his chops going against the second-round pick, a rookie, we can't criticize Bronny James the next day. In other words, like, JJ is putting the media in a hard spot where we don't want to, but we have to criticize Bronny. There's nothing wrong with that. Bronny got cooked in that limited action. Of course, it's a second-round pick. I thought it was about LeBron, Stephen A. You mentioned J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick put LeBron in. So then why did you say on First Take back in January, LeBron James, as a father, stop this? You're talking about the size of your mouth. And what purpose does it serve? I don't think this is going to be LeBron's last year. I think next year it's probably likely that that's it. Year 24 for LeBron James in 2027. We'll see. What benefit does it serve you continuously talking about this man over and over and over and going on? Seemingly, this is the second podcast clip I've seen this week of him talking about his spat with LeBron James. The funny part about this, you're talking real tough. You're talking about, I'd have done this, a lot of revisionist history. Bro, we saw what you did in the moment, man. You froze. By the way, can't say I blame you. I'd probably freeze if LeBron James confronted me in that tone as well. I get it. Don't rewrite history and how you reacted to that entire situation. Don't make it seem as if, oh man, Bron don't want to hear none of this. Obviously, Stephen A's not in play. He could fight LeBron. And he's clarified that. He's like, obviously, I could not fight LeBron James. But when you're on this show, on this podcast with Carmelo Anthony, who, again, I am really surprised did not interject in any way, because supposedly LeBron is good friends with Carmelo, but whatever. That's separate. When you're out here, basically, now you're going into conspiracy talk. Now you're, man, there's cameras everywhere. It's on TNT. He's essentially implying, because he said point blank, I was set up in this spot to look bad by LeBron's people. This man is essentially saying, Bron had this big conspiracy. I'm going to have one guy sit in a certain spot in the arena behind where Stephen A. Smith is sitting. See, it makes no sense, because Stephen A. said, I arrived in the first quarter. How'd Bron know you were going to be there? Maybe he did. I don't know. But how would Bron have known exactly where you were sitting? So you mean to tell me that this person with the phone that recorded this entire, but not, it wasn't really back and forth. It was one side. It was LeBron told Stephen A., keep my name out your mouth. Go, my family's name out your mouth. Went about his way. Ended up winning the game against the Knicks. You mean to tell me this one person was set in that spot at the formerly called Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena, at a certain angle to make you look bad? That's ridiculous. Now you're getting into conspiracy talk. And if anybody knows anything about this show, you know that I despise conspiracies. That's not to say we should trust everything that we see, but don't want to act as if you know when you don't. That's my big thing with my hatred of conspiracy theories. It's getting kind of sad. And again, I said this many times. The road Stephen A. Smith has taken to get to prominence, nothing but love. Like that's the envy. $100 million, ESPN, face of a network. This man might run for president. We'll see how that plays itself out. This is tired, man. You're doing it for clicks. And he said in this clip, well, I mean, I was if I'm asked about LeBron James, what am I going to do? Not say something that'd be hypocritical as a member of the media. Bro, I'll just tell the people in advance. You don't have to say the podcast, no comment, because then people accuse Stephen A. being a coward, and that's not necessarily fair. Just tell Melo's people, tell basically every podcast that you've been on in the last 7 months, hey, talk about anything. People do this all the time. Publicists do this all the time. Hey, this subject is off limit. We're not talking about this. Okay. Move on. You're Stephen A. Smith. You got plenty of things to talk about. Sports, politics. And you just keep honest to God, I think most people, prior to the first interview he did the other day, and then this one today, I forgot about that not altercation, but that confrontation completely. Forgot about it. Didn't know it existed. And you're still doing this for clicks. Very, very, very similarly to how you did with the Kyrie Irving situation. And by the way, I'm not going to be revisionist history myself. Go back and look. I was not a fan of how Kyrie handled that entire situation with the vaccine in Brooklyn, all of it. But Stephen A. went out of his way to attack him in ways that went well beyond basketball. And now he's kind of apologizing. Man, I was wrong about it. That's fine. But this shows a little bit of a continuous pattern here. And you're not only talking about it both sides of your mouth, but you're utilizing revisionist history. You're utilizing conspiracies. Let it go. Let's say you're right, and LeBron James has tried to work behind the scenes and get you off the air and ruin your career. You're Stephen A. Smith, man. Ain't nobody can ruin your career at this point. $100 million contract to ESPN. You're with ESPN and Sirius XM. You got your own podcast. You got News Nation. You're a made man. You are set for life. He can't ruin you now. It'd be one thing if LeBron was continuously going after Stephen A. publicly. That's different. Then it's like, hey, Stephen A's got a right to respond. If it's private, keep it that way. Rise above it. Be the bigger man if indeed LeBron is shrinking to the level that you say that he is shrinking. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.